Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Intrigue Podcast. What is it? Wednesday, April 4th, 2018.
Yep.
Dude, I can't even believe it's April already. That's actually blowing my mind. I just felt like I was in New York watching the ball drop. And dang.
And we're already a quarter of the way through 2018.
Wild. You always hear it when we're growing up, man. Our parents and everything say, like, geez, time flies by. You think it's going fast now. Just wait till you're older.
Yeah, it's just like the older you get. I call it hyper speed. It's just like the faster it goes is the older I get, which is a really cruel joke that the universe seems to play on us if you really think about it. But number 5 today. Number 5. What are we talking about?
I mean 7 technically, but then we got
7.
The lost
we got
tapes.
the lost tapes.
We got the lost tapes. No, we got some things cooking up. I don't even want to say what we're about to talk about first. We'll just get into this.
Oh, we're just gonna dive right in.
Yeah, because I don't want to give too much away because I know we got some very, very intriguing things to come on. Not sorry for the play of words, and shout out to the name. But what is your fire question that you were talking about earlier?
I have this thing that it's burning on my mind to have a debate with someone on this, I guess. And I've talked about it with some of my buddies, in text message threads and things like that. And it's something to do with sports that I'm guessing, and again, this is something that intrigues me. So this probably isn't something you would ever hear. This wouldn't be a talking heads thing on SportsCenter or First Take, whatever it might be. But it's something that has really bothered me. Okay. And I'm talking about rooting for conferences. Now, this more applies to college sports. Rooting for conferences over the allegiance to your team. Now, let me unpack this a little bit, okay? For instance, the men's national championship basketball just happened, right?
Yep.
And Villanova beat Michigan, okay? Let's go with that analogy. So, Michigan is represented by, they're part of the Big Ten, right? And I always hear people say, I'm rooting, and now let's just say, for instance, we're in Ohio, we're in Ohio State territory.
Oh yeah, we Big Ten.
Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of, we're Big Ten territory. There's a lot of Michigan fans in Ohio, but I hear people say, I'm rooting for Michigan because I'm rooting for the Big Ten. Or whatever it might be. Maybe it's SEC, maybe, let's say Alabama is playing, I don't know, Clemson in the national title game. And a Florida Gators fan saying, I'm rooting for Alabama because I'm rooting for the SEC.
Yep.
I think this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, and it makes no sense to me. Now, I've thought about this a lot. And I see the benefits of rooting for your conference. But maybe I'm just old school. To me, let's go back to the Ohio State-Michigan example. Michigan fans and Ohio State fans all year round. I mean, all they do is talk trash to one another.
Yeah, biggest rivalry in the game, most likely.
They put down the other team. They talk about how much they hate Michigan. They talk about how much they hate Ohio State, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, when it's like the playoffs or a tournament, you're rooting for them? To me, that just makes no sense whatsoever. That just drives me nuts. I was like, wait a minute. No, I'm not rooting for them.
Yeah.
If my team doesn't win, I don't want to see anyone win. I especially don't want to see a team in my league win.
Definitely.
Or my conference. Now, I talked about this with some of my buddies, and I'm on a text message thread with, I think, 5 other guys. And we're all big, sports heads. And I was in the minority. Nobody else felt this way. And I see the other side of the argument. The other side of the argument is, okay, you look at the recruiting. You're recruiting a kid, let's go back to Ohio State, Michigan, okay? You're recruiting a kid, you're sitting in the living room and say, hey, do you want to come play in the Big Ten? There's been 4 national championships in our conference in the last 15 years. That's just a hypothetical, whatever it might be. Okay, yeah, that's fine, okay? But that's not at your school.
Yeah, but is that your school? No.
If I'm Ohio State's head coach, my recruiting pitch, to me, it just seems silly to say, hey, do you want to come play in a conference that has national champion contenders in it? Yeah, you want to play that high level of competition.
Yeah.
But if your school doesn't have it, then why are you even talking about it? You know. And the other thing too is, you say the strength of schedule. Okay, the other teams in your conference do well. Your strength of schedule looks better, and your resume looks better at the end of the year, whatever it might be. I get that. That's why an SEC school is probably always going to be in the college football playoff, because their league is so tough. Okay, I get that. That makes sense. Maybe you get more TV money, whatever it might be, but I don't understand it, and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, the only way I can even understand it is if you're one of the coaches or if you're somebody that's high up in one of those universities, because don't they have a thing that if whatever conference, say Ohio State went for the Big Ten, or say Michigan would have won for the Big Ten, do they pay everybody in the Big Ten like a little chunk just NCAA? Like, do they do a thing?
I'm not 100% positive on this.
But that, honestly, that's not us, though. That doesn't affect the casual fan or the diehard fans. Because, dude, I'm right there with you. I notice it more in college football because, oh my gosh, the one, dude, I hate the guy. He's the one commentator on Sunday or Saturday football every night.
Mark May?
Is it the kid from Georgia, the quarterback? It's every single game they ever talk about. He's like, Alabama this, Alabama that. But he went to Georgia, and because he's at SEC all day. Like,
it's not Palmer, is it?
It might,
Jesse Palmer?
Is that the black hair? Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's definitely him. Dude, yeah, he's the same freaking way. SEC all day, they're the best. Anybody from there is the best team. Like, in bowl games. It's always in bowl games.
It's always
whoever they play.
Bowl games.
It's SEC all day. It's like, dude, no, fuck that shit. Like, he's always, I'm sorry, we were just talking about the cousin. That's hilarious.
No.
But, no, dude, like, seriously. Like, he should be just rooting for his alma mater, He's like, and if your other team, like, don't get me wrong, if you're picking, you shouldn't, like, clearly you go by the best team. If Alabama's playing anybody, you're gonna pick Alabama most likely, just statistically lately. But for him, like, he's like just sucking their wieners pretty much. Like, just he's out there like,
because he's
Alabama,
all SEC.
Yeah, I'm going here, I'm going there.
And I realize my stance on this might be ignorant. And, as someone that I'd love to be an athletic director someday or an athletic administration, that maybe this is a stance I might have to change. But I think it's just the old school competitor in me, where it's like, if my team doesn't win, or the team I'm rooting for that's my ride or die team, I don't want to see anybody win.
Well, let me ask you this. For the NBA, are you like biased by Eastern or Western Conference?
And I don't get that. That's when I go to pro sports. I'm not biased by conferences, East, West, or anything like that, or like American League, National League, AFC, NFC. I definitely am not. That's why I think this one gets me a little more irked when it comes to college. So no, I would not say I am.
I was gonna say, I was just wondering because I know some people are like, oh, Eastern Conference, whoever's coming out the East, I want them to win, or like chances are most people are like the West is gonna win regardless. I want to see them win. I'd rather see, like, because you and I've even talked about it before. Like, we'd rather see 10, maybe 11 teams in that Western Conference that are all fighting for that 8th spot that are better than the Eastern Conference final, like 4 seeds. And it's like, there's sometimes, like, I would rather see, an all Western Conference team, but regardless of, it doesn't matter what conference it is, but not to go on a different tangent. No, I feel you. Like, dude, it blows my mind too. Like, even high schools, you can even go down the lower levels. Whenever we were students, if like we lost to a certain team in like the champion, or not in the championship, but in the playoffs or something, we usually would like root for them. Like, hell yeah, I want to see them win, instead of going, well, fuck them, I don't want to see them win.
Now, I guess it's one thing, like, if you personally know someone on that team, you talk about high school or something like that, and you know some kids at that other school, whatever it might be, and let's say they make a run for like a state title or something. That's one thing, but like how this came up. And how my stance on this kind of got reignited was Arizona made the tournament, and I think Arizona State got they were one of the play-in games, whatever it might be. But for the most part, Arizona was the only Pac-12 school that was there that got an at-large bid. Or automatic bid because they won their conference, whatever it might be. Long story short, there's not that many Pac-12 schools that were in it. Yeah. So Arizona gets bounced, and I was having this conversation with a family member, and like, well, are you going to root for anyone else in the Pac-12? What if someone else from the Pac-12 was still in it? I was like, no. my team's out. I don't want to see anybody. I especially don't want to see one of their rivals win it.
Yeah, that blows my mind too.
So then one of my buddies, he kind of checked me on this. He's like, so what? You just want like a bomb to go off in the arena and neither team wins?
Rather see the players die?
You know, kind of like the scene in The Dark Knight Rises when Bane blows up the field.
Iconic.
No, I don't want to see that. But I think it's just like the competitor in me where it's like, I don't want to see either team win. Like, for instance, if the Cavs don't make the finals this year, I don't want to see... I definitely don't want to see the Warriors win again.
No.
You know? I don't want to see the Celtics win. I don't want to see the Raptors win. Houston. I don't want to see any other team win. I don't want to see Houston win. I don't want to see it. I'll probably watch the finals just because I've never missed them, but I won't be happy about watching them.
It's basketball. We all love basketball. Don't matter.
So... That was something that I wanted to see where you fell in that. I'm interested to see where other people fall in that because I think it's one of those things that people don't really talk about a whole lot. And you definitely see it, like you said, during college football, during like bowl week and everything like that, and all the bowl games. And I just that one's always kind of struck me as kind of odd. So I'm glad that we're
no, I see it, but dude, that's because you're just a passionate fan. Like you got to think, there's so many people out there that don't care about what teams. They don't even know who's on the teams. Yeah. They just go by their mascot maybe or whatever it may be. Like it's just the home, like closer to home thing. Even though maybe not all of them are close to home, but you know what I'm saying. Like for universities, the ones that you know that you play every year. I don't know. You just see people that just don't care mostly, so they don't really. As long as somebody wins that they know of, that might be the only thing they care about.
And I'll admit, Arizona got bounced first night of the tournament. I didn't really watch a whole lot of the tournament after that. I mean, I watched a little bit here and there just to be out with my friends, but I didn't watch a second of the national championship game.
I didn't either.
I didn't watch the second Final Four game. I watched the first one.
I was gonna say we watched that. I watched the first half of the Loyola game. I thought they had it, but
I mean, I like Jay Wright. I mean, I'll root for Villanova, I guess, but I more like their coach. But Arizona's my team. They weren't in it. I don't want to watch another team celebrate a championship.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know, and I get the whole entire it gets more money for your conference and you get better recruits if you're playing against higher quality opponents. I get that. But just go win in the tournament in the postseason and you don't have to worry about getting recruits.
Yeah, sure.
You shouldn't have to sell on having 2 or 3 other strong teams in your conference. So just a little tangent I had. I'm definitely curious to see where people fall on that one. So,
dude, speaking of the March Madness though, like how ridiculously hard is that to actually keep up with? Like everybody watches that first night, but like it's exhausting watching that many games. People think it's just a weekend or whatever, but like watching that many games consistently when 4 or 5 games are on, especially that first 2 weekends, like that's at the time, like that's difficult, man.
I mean, it's basketball euphoria on one hand, but yeah, on the other hand, it definitely it can be exhausting and it can be draining, and I can only imagine if you have a serious amount of money, riding on those games, like I know a lot of people do. So yeah, but you know what? I think it's the money. I mean, follow the money. There's so much money. They make so much money. I mean, would you be terribly shocked if at one point it was like a 96 team tournament and they gave some of those upper seeds buys in the first couple rounds? I would not be shocked by that whatsoever. I talk about that with my buddies. Like,
does that go more of like everybody, like when you're seeing kids nowadays, like all the participation trophies? Is that what that's more like? Like, well, we just give these small teams a chance because it's not fair to them, or is it just like, hey, look at all these small teams that actually won this year? Like, especially as first 16 seed to actually be the number 1, that could help.
I think it's more a factor of there's a lot of money to be made. They can make
more.
They can make more money.
Everything's about money, man.
And flat out, you put more smaller schools in there. You throw more, small fish in the pond, whatever you want to say. Crazy things happen, and you know what? We as Americans, sports fans, whatever, we love upsets. We love the underdog. We love the Cinderella story. I mean, look at that Loyola team. I mean, how everyone rallied behind them. So we love those stories. And you throw smaller teams in there, more variables, more crazy stuff happens, and people love that. I mean, unfortunately for Virginia, first number 1 seed to ever lose. They were kind of the short end of that, but America loved it. Like, I think we talked about in the last pod, that UMBC, I mean, they had their 15 minutes of fame, and America soaked it up.
Live it up.
Yeah.
That's what people want, man. The fame and that money, it blows my mind how much that drives people nowadays.
So that money, I think this segues well, because we're going to transition now to the NBA. And I know he's one of my favorite players in the league, and you brought this up, you wanted to talk about it. And he's definitely a guy that I wonder if money isn't playing a factor into some of his actions.
That's actually exactly, this is my point.
Kawhi Leonard.
I was thinking, I was thinking, like, geez, it's been a little bit, like, there's been so much happening in sports world since our last pod. It's like, where are we going to really pick up? Because, I don't want to sit here and just talk about everything that happened or anything, so, and I didn't want to talk about any of the big highlights, especially as we're diving into the playoffs now in the NBA.
Yeah, coming up.
But I was thinking, man, because the Spurs are so well, like, as an organization, they're so well just, like, hush everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, like, it's real tough to, like, kind of keep up with Kawhi Leonard at all times.
Yeah.
But because people always forget he's one of the best in the league right now, but it's because of the Spurs, like, just being so good as an organization, keeping hush and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, dude, he's been, my man, this been a great like thinking, or a great thought of mine, because I think Kawhi Leonard's number 2 player in the world, right behind LeBron James. Like, seriously,
you put him that high?
I think, well, this is the way I look at it. I think he can lock down, like, we've seen him lock down LeBron. Not lock down LeBron. Nobody's gonna lock down LeBron, but he's one of the only people that can guard LeBron, KD, and then go turn around and just go guard Kyrie or guard freaking Russell Westbrook or somebody. Like, right. he can guard so many different aspects, and, like, you don't see Kevin Durant guarding somebody. Like, that's I got KD as number 3 or something, Like, that's just where I got right now. But, like, because then you don't see James Harden doing any sort of D. Like, defense comes a long way for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the way but seriously, man, his heart is not, I think it's in the game, hopefully, but it's definitely not with the Spurs right now. And for people that don't know, or people that don't even know anything about Kawhi Leonard, which would be shocking to me, but he's been is it an ankle injury he's been fighting still?
They say it's a thigh.
It's a thigh,
which is a weird kind of. It's been this nagging injury all year. I think he's played
100%.
I think he's played in like 8 or 9 games.
I didn't even know he played that many. I thought he played like 2 or 3, and they were light games too. I'm pretty sure
he didn't quite look right. And it's just like you said, the Spurs they do a great job of keeping everything in house. They're definitely very tight-lipped when it comes to the media and what they put out there. But just some of the things that have come out. I think for me, the rumors you're hearing about Kawhi wanting out and having like these weird players-only meetings where people are questioning him, whatever it might be. I think for that stuff to get out, it must really be loud.
It's got to be huge. That's my question to you.
I heard someone else, if I heard it somewhere where if he played for like the Cavs, who the Cavs like have an open door for the media.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Cavs in a way kind of like the media circus, but I mean it would be unbelievable. Now Kawhi, it's interesting because I think he should have been the MVP last year, and I think when healthy, I think definitely absolutely top 3 player in the league. Absolute top 3. I don't know if I can put him above KD, but that's another discussion for another day. But I'm worried about his injury and whether or not he comes back the same, or he's just flat out holding out and using it because he's trying to leverage his way out of San Antonio. I know he's got ties to California, and I know, the Lakers could come calling. I don't know.
Here's my thing. I just think that it clearly is an excuse. I don't think he's actually hurt. I think that's most people's thought process at this point now. But my thing is, you see him do that commercial with Nipsey Hussle or whatever. For was that a Jordan commercial, or was that just no? That was something else. He just did something for Foot Locker, maybe. It might have been Foot Locker with Nipsey Hussle. But like, when's the last time you ever seen a Spurs player ever do a commercial?
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought this up. The Spurs players do commercials. They do local commercials that only get run around the San Antonio area, and I'm talking like.
Are they golden?
Oh, they're fantastic.
What the fuck? What? Where has this been?
To anyone out there, and I encourage you to do this as well, you need to get on YouTube and look up Spurs commercials because they do products like Tim Duncan had his own cereal. I think maybe like some washer and dryer companies or like local companies in the San Antonio area they do commercials for, and they are hilarious. I know Kawhi's been in some, Tim Duncan was in some, Manu, Tony Parker, but as far as like the nationwide ones,
I was gonna say it was the first one. Now I'm
have to.
Well, there goes my point. Never mind.
You have to look those up. But I would like the thing I've always loved about Kawhi is he's never one mouth. You don't really see him running his mouth. You don't see he's not a look at me kind of player. He keeps his mouth shut. He locks people down. He's the best perimeter defender in the league. I don't think that's
I call
really...
him the Terminator, bro. He's just and Pop is his controller, or he was until now. But dude, cause I swear,
he's developed a really really reliable jumper. I mean, just an absolute killer, just a killer on the court, and he's humble. That's the thing I always liked about him. He's humble, and I mean, he's right up there. He's so elite.
Is he a Scottie Pippen, or maybe even like a Charles like a Charles Barkley, where like they just were at the time they were just overshadowed by Jordan, or they're overshadowed by Magic, or overshadowed by Larry Bird, and it's like he's just not. He could be that, but he's got LeBron.
The Scottie Pippen comparison I like the best because I think they have similar body builds, real long arms. I think they're real close to the same height, right around 6'7", 6'8". But I think he's a better shooting Scottie Pippen, which is scary to think about.
Well, yeah, dude. Because my point was until now, like really, Scottie just was so underrated and everything, and now he's finally getting that. I feel like that spotlight a little bit since everybody hates Jordan now, and Jordan doesn't want to talk, so they'll go to Pippen. It's the next best bet,
It's real interesting to see. I know there are teams that will definitely pony up some money or some trade assets to try to get Kawhi, but
I want to see him somewhere else, man.
It's so rare to see something like this happen with the Spurs organization because they usually are pretty much like the antithesis, like the opposite of what every other team in the NBA does.
Yeah.
When it comes to how they handle their business.
That's why they're so damn good.
They keep it behind closed doors. Greg Popovich has flat out come out and said, I don't want players on my team that came up in the American AAU system because they're spoiled, they're entitled, they weren't taught the fundamentals. He wants European players that were taught how to play the game the right way. Now I'm like paraphrasing his quote there. Popovich said something like that. But if you look, can you really argue with the results? I mean, how you look at their team, how many times have we watched a Spurs game and been like, who is that guy that's averaging 15 a game or just hit 4 threes in a quarter? And we've never even heard of them because they're so incredible at player development and finding those guys. And, LaMarcus Aldridge asked for a trade, I think last summer maybe.
It was this offseason too, yeah.
Popovich said, no, we're not trading you. How often does that happen? I think it's one of those rare circumstances. I mean, the NBA, like a lot of professional sports nowadays, players have so much leverage, and the players run everything. But I think the Spurs are that one organization, and I think you could probably put like the Patriots in this
You're
conversation
seeing that with Brock
too,
right now,
where it's like, yeah, we need you. Yeah, you're a high production player, but you don't have more power than us, or at least you're not light years ahead of us making all the chess moves like players do in other cities.
He hasn't even got him a ring yet, so until then, he's gonna be like,
who's that? Kawhi?
Yeah, no, not Kawhi. I'm talking.
Aldridge.
Yeah, Aldridge. Yeah. It's like he's nothing to the Spurs. Like, how are you gonna be out here demanding a trade? Like you haven't even produced anything.
But then Kawhi, you got the Jordan brand thing, and that's a factor. I definitely, if I'm Michael Jordan, I'm looking at Kawhi Leonard thinking, there's no reason this guy can't be one of the faces of the brand.
He wants to be. I think that's why he wants out, because he can't be him. He can't be that, because he's seeing James Harden getting commercials. He's out here seeing Westbrook getting those Jordan commercials.
Yeah.
He's out here seeing LeBron doing every sort of commercial that's possible. Yeah. Like, he's seeing all these people that he knows he's just as good as getting all these shoe deals. Like, Steph Curry's better than, and Steph's getting these shoe deals. But
I also kind of have to wonder, though, too, and I don't mean this as a knock against Kawhi or anything, but he's so soft-spoken, and you don't really hear a lot about him.
Maybe that's just because of that Spurs organization, because that's what I was thinking.
I guess it could be, but does he have the charisma to really be like he's a superstar, But I'm talking like super duper star to where you become like a global icon, like a LeBron, like a Kobe, like a, Steph Curry, whatever it might be. I don't know if he's really there. Like I kind of put like Anthony Davis in that conversation too, because he seems like a really humble, soft-spoken guy, but he's a top 5 talent in the NBA, and he's playing in a smaller market. I don't know. I think it's gonna be real interesting. Now, obviously, as a Cavs fan, I have theories in my head and conspiracies of how he ends up in the Cavs next year. But that's just me being a Cavs fan. It's gonna be real interesting to see how. Would they be better
without? Okay, cause you gotta understand LeBron would leave, and then they could get quiet at that point. But they would.
What if there's a way you could get Kawhi and LeBron?
That's the only way LeBron would stay.
You think that's the only way?
Only way. What else? How else would he stay? Especially if they don't win this year.
If they don't.
And like, let's say they get bounced before the Eastern, or they don't even win the Eastern Conference. He's probably out. But I don't know. I really don't know.
That's why we got to watch. I think it's gonna be so interesting to see what happens. I'll tell you what. There's only really one team that kind of scares me that could lure LeBron away. I really don't think he's going to LA.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he wants to be involved in the Lonzo drama. It's Philly.
I could totally see him going to Philly.
I mean, there's still, it's Philly, especially if somehow, some way, and I don't see this happening, but if somehow, some way, like, Philadelphia wins the East or beats the Cavs.
Or gives them 7 games.
Yeah, something like that. I think it'll be interesting. But, and I think we might talk this on a pod, though, too, Ben Simmons seems like he's going to be really special. I mean, he is special.
Yeah.
But it seems like he could really be.
And if he doesn't have the ball,
doing something great. And I think he and LeBron I think their skill sets are very similar, which I don't know if they mesh well in the court together.
Well, LeBron's got so many good qualities to him that all these players that they're only good at is like what LeBron's like 4th good at, like, and on his list, and so like, but his like 4th good like is better than your best. Like that's what I'm trying to say. So like his 4th best, I should say, quality is better than your best quality, which just isn't fair to him. But he's so young, you got to give him that talent because he's so good with the ball. He's got the great vision and everything.
He is.
But that's LeBron's role. Like you've seen it for so long. If anybody else runs point, look at them, they fall apart. Yeah. So that's why he, like, even with Kyrie, he brought it up all the time, especially the last year he came in. Mm-hmm. This shit was wild, man.
It's gonna be really interesting to see what happens. I think the NBA playoffs. I think you're gonna see things that happen over the next couple months in the NBA that have trickle down effects for years to come. I mean, I think these playoffs could really reshape how the NBA looks the next couple of years.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, all right. You want to transition from there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Spent too much time on sports.
Conspiracy theory corner.
Let's do it.
This is kind of our wheelhouse. Sports is our wheelhouse. I try to have a lot of different wheelhouses. I try to be a man of many tastes and interests. I know you try to do the same thing. I want to try to be able to speak knowledgeable, or at least sound half knowledgeable about a variety of topics. And conspiracy theories, while I am not a conspiracy theorist, like, out here proclaiming all this crazy stuff, I've always found them fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Okay? And this one's not that terribly big of one. But this was an idea that crossed my mind over the past week, and I said, you know what? How have I never thought of this? All right, so let me drop this on you. We know, and I think unless, you're just absolutely living under a rock, that the government has built-in ways to get information from us. I mean, we're sitting on a computer right now that has a little camera on it that we know, but a click of a button, if they want to turn on that camera and watch what we're doing, they could do that. Okay? They could do that to any computer probably in the world. Well, I don't know about the world.
Well, you can do it with your Fitbits now, Amazon Echoes, all these.
And then we were talking. We were down in Florida last week together, and we were talking to my dad about. Weren't we talking about?
Yeah. If you talk about a certain subject, like say we were talking about cat litter, I think that's the exact thing.
That's what it was. If you talk about cat litter for a week, and let's say you don't even own cats.
Not even a week, bro. A couple of days.
Yeah. What's going to happen when you're on Facebook? You're going to start seeing ads for cat litter.
Dude, or the other creepy thing too is if you're even like thinking of somebody or like. Because, like, I hang out with my sister all the time. Like, so we went to the same school and stuff. So she, like, she was a little younger. So, like, from her grade to my grade, like we knew so many people through school. Like she'll say she saw somebody one time or something, and like it's even crazy too. It's not even the internet, bro. Like it'd be some one time like I get on, because I don't even have social media, but back when I did, like if I'm on Instagram or something and I haven't heard of a name in forever and my sister says it, the next person that's right there on the top of the list that I didn't even remember in my head. But dude, I've even had crazier ones to go on further, because we'll get back to your electronic one and like the government and everything. But dude, I've always had these things where like, have you ever thought of somebody or thought of a certain song or thought of anything, and like not even a day later or 2 days later you're hearing it and you're like, what the fuck? Like no, it's not like, or you see this person, because that shit happens to me on a, I don't want to say daily basis, but like an every couple month basis. And I always tell my sister's like my best fucking friend at that point. So like every time that I like think of somebody, I always send her a text, or I send one of my homies a text and go like, hey bro, like I just thought of this person, watch me see them in a couple days. And then a couple days later I see them, or I see somebody that's like their brother or something. Like it's insane, dude. That's one of the things that happens in my life that like makes me wonder if our life is a simulation or something sometimes, because it's to the point, bro, where it gets too creepy.
I can't say I've had that happen to me a lot.
And I talked to multiple people that have felt this way before too. Yeah, it's a wild thing.
That could really be something. Or could it be, I don't know. This is interesting to me because
is our life a mother effing computer? And those are the viruses.
The Matrix.
The Matrix. No, I don't want to go too deep in that. But
some of that, I think some of it could be explained
by just how small the town we're in.
That, and you're still, is this your 6th year out of high school?
Well, no, I'm not even saying people in high school. I'm just saying it could be like somebody I met through like basketball at a young grade or something. Like, right. I'm talking people that I never even thought I'd think about ever again, and it's randomly they shoot in your head, and then no joke, a day or two later I've seen something. Dude, it's like it's at a creepy level. It's not like it's not like I'm thinking of somebody I see every single day and I'm like, holy shit, just thought of them. Oh shit, they text me? Like what? Like no.
I'd have to think about that one. I think the older you get, the bigger the interweb or the web of people that you've come in contact with grows, and I think that'll happen less. If it doesn't happen less,
I feel like it's happened more the older I get.
See, that's
it's why I don't know if you've ever dude, it's
or why. Maybe it's just something I've never really been intuitive to, and I've never really like
it's so weird and it's so random that I can't even it's tough for me to sit here and explain it.
See, now I got homework. Now I gotta think about that.
But dude, don't forget about go back to the government thing. I'm sorry to take that even further, fine. Because this I'm happy you brought this up. Clearly this intrigues me too.
All right. So we know about, with Facebook, and obviously they've been under some heat lately about kind of invading our privacy, and we know that is it NSA can turn on our phones and listen to conversations we have. They can monitor phone calls, blah blah blah.
Did you real quick too? Did you see Facebook now? Like on their they save every message that you don't send, every message that never was sent like successfully. They save everything that like you might even just typed out. They save pictures. They save pictures that you didn't even end up posting. Like they save everything. I'm pretty sure it's Facebook. It might have been like Snapchat or something, but it was one of those. They save everything.
I believe it.
But that's even crazier. But yeah, keep going.
I know I know Verizon has I'm talking massive contracts with the government to share information.
Yep.
And now going back to the sharing or to the keeping things on file, I did hear a story that I don't know if you knew this, but Twitter, every tweet that was ever sent used to be stored in the National Library of Congress.
I heard that too.
But I heard that as of January 1st this year, it might have been January 1st, sometime this new year, they stopped doing it because they just flat out ran out of room, or there were too many tweets that just flat out just didn't really amount to anything.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that, take that for, whatever you want it to be. But we're bouncing all over the place. Here's one that I think has been right underneath our noses that a lot of people haven't even thought about. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is everywhere. You see it everywhere. I know there's at least 3 or 4 really prominent sites out there for this. The ancestry sites, where you can go sign up, pay a fee, find out where your ancestors are from.
All right.
absolutely a way of the government getting our information. Those sites are tracked, and it's a way for the government to keep an eye on our family heritage, our lineage, whatever it might be.
Blows my mind.
There's a big crackdown. Obviously, I know our current administration has been really big on illegal immigrants coming in and everything like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember how this thought came to me. I just had it down in my notes. I was like, that absolutely has to be a way. And I mean, you talk about a way to get a ton of information on someone or their family members. I mean, that's... Go ahead.
Dude, it's crazy you say that because I'm not kidding. My sister literally just signed up and this is the thing that blew my mind. I'm pretty sure they had to send I think it's Ancestry.com. They send what do they send back?
I think there's a kit or something.
Yeah, it's a whole kit and you got to send a bunch of DNA back and stuff. And her and her fiance did that shit. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? That's you're telling me you pay for that on the internet?
DNA.
On the internet? I would never. I'd go to a doctor's office and do that shit maybe. But for me, I don't really care enough. Maybe one day, whenever I have kids and they're like, oh, okay, well, who's this in our family? But maybe then. But that still blows my mind.
Tell me that is not a way. I'm not saying this is happening. I'm not saying. But tell me, if A plus B equals C, tell me it doesn't make perfect sense that the government could be collecting that DNA.
Oh, they are for sure.
Putting it in some database so next time
they're probably
someone
even copying that shit.
Commits a crime, whatever it might be. I mean, Lord knows. I mean, for people that try to commit crimes and are going to leave any sort of forensics behind nowadays, I mean, you have to be the dumbest person on earth because the databases of DNA data and intelligence just has to be off the charts. But yeah, so your sister and her fiance, they buy this, and I've gone on their website. It's not cheap.
I couldn't imagine.
I don't think it's that terribly cheap to do this. And I guess it's cool.
How accurate is it? Because this is my thing. How do you know Joe Schmo is not just putting a bunch of random names, random people that are Greek or whatever? For my case,
it might be one of the greatest rackets of all time. But I know that a lot of the immigrants came through Ellis Island, New York, or maybe they came from Canada, or maybe they came south from South America or Mexico, whatever it might be. I don't know. It would be very easy just to kind of embellish stuff. He's Irish. Let's pick this Irish family that came through Ellis Island in 1906. Yeah, sure, he's related to him.
Yeah, 1857. He won't even know. Just throw him in there.
I hope those things aren't happening for the sake of the integrity of these websites that will probably never ever be a sponsor of our podcast
to take it further. I don't know if I brought this up a few podcasts ago or not, but I heard this thing that it's some Japanese, I want to say Japanese company.
Okay.
Maybe I think it might even be in Tokyo. They just put out you can pre-order this. It just downloads your brain and downloads every single one of your memories. But the catch is you will because they haven't perfected it yet. But as of now, you can download everything, and what their hope is that because you instantly die as if you went in there, paid all this money to get your brain downloaded into the computer, I'm pretty sure they think that what they're trying to say is they can always just keep who you are. Nope. It's kind of like Black Mirror.
Nope.
It's a lot like the Black Mirror
That's
episode.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's a Black Mirror episode, so they think that you can just be in anything. They can put you almost in anything.
It was the episode,
and you could live forever, but you die physically. And that thing's blowing my mind because they already have a bunch of people already pre-ordering this stuff, and it's what the hell? Just think this is just the beginning steps, man. Think about when they in 20 years, bro. And it's a great segue into what I was gonna talk to you about, but I don't want to get into it yet.
Well, can we do a free plug for Black Mirror, by the way, though?
Yeah, dude.
I think the episode we're talking about is the first episode of season 2.
I'm gonna let you know right now. I don't know if you finished the entire Black Mirror yet.
I have not.
If you're not caught up, it's in multiple episodes. They hint towards this.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's
but
it's
I
different.
know the first time, but pretty much there's a couple and the guy dies in a car accident. And I don't know if they were engaged, married, whatever.
But
maybe just boyfriend, girlfriend. But she just couldn't live without him and was just so distraught. And she had this opportunity to kind of bring him back to life in a way.
It's Pet Cemetery, but for actual humans. And it starts off texting. You can text them, and it's they've just taken all his. It goes back to your monitoring because to the Facebook stuff. They take all his messages, take everything that he's ever said.
You can form that person's personality.
And then it turns into, and then the next step's the phone call. Not the spoilers, heavy spoilers here. Sorry, people.
Great episode. I mean, you gotta watch it.
You gotta watch it. It's creepy.
You gotta watch it.
Oh, but then it's phone call, and then they give her an opportunity, a choice to order him to come back, like as a
kind of regenerate.
It would be a lot. It would be like these new sex dolls on steroids, and they can actually have a conscious decisions and stuff, but they're just like so emotionless. And that's the crazy part, because you're not always gonna get how you want it to be. But dude,
not to go down like kind of a dark alley here, but with the same thing, we talk about this technology boom and being able to like superimpose things and project what someone would be like. I've heard that the new thing is they can project like faces on actors in pornography. So let's say you have a favorite actress, and not a pornographic actress, but just a favorite actress from like Hollywood actress.
Who we talking?
And you're like, oh wow, I'd love to see her in a movie like that,
dude. And
they can do that, and like that is, to me, I mean, obviously, I think that's a little more like
Photoshop-ish.
Well, yeah, but I think that's maybe a little more sick and twisted use for it. But
I mean, damn, we're humans, bro. I was just gonna say, you already see the look. They already take full advantage. Like, think of the lookalikes that you see on porn, like all the time. Yeah. They're like, oh, this person look alike, this person look alike, Beyonce look alike, whatever it is, and they look kind of like it, but they mean millions and millions of views. Oh. And now you're telling me that they can do it exactly the person you think it's gonna be. That blows my mind, bro.
And then, but on the other side of that kind of I think would be really cool. And I think I heard this on the Bill Simmons podcast. They were talking about this. Is if you have enough data, footage, whatever it might be, you have enough text messages, emails, whatever, phone conversations, that let's say there's an actor that has passed away. Like, what's a famous actor that's passed away?
Patrick Swayze. We'll go with that one.
Patrick Swayze. Let's say they're going to make a movie that has Patrick Swayze in it, and it's a projection of him. It's all computer animated, but it could be a projection of him based on all this information we have.
Look how good it is. Jeff Bridges in Tron.
Yeah.
He's alive.
Yeah.
And dude, they do that in so many movies, like Looper. They did that. So, but okay, I'm gonna blow your mind here, because this is what you're saying exactly is already happening. Like I forget what agency it was. I saw this shit on the Joe Rogan Experience. Blew my damn mind. Like, you know, he brings up the videos and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the king of podcasts for real. But he brought up, he showed this thing that they can take all your information, like say you like all the times you FaceTimes, all the times you put videos out there, that if they have you saying just enough words, minimal words, that they can get you to say absolutely anything, and they can use this for the worst things. That, like, if you're a politician, I'm guessing they're already doing this stuff. I'm guaranteeing it. They're going to be like, oh, well, this person was on the phone, and they'll have you saying something you've never said in your entire life.
And manipulate.
Yeah. You can do it for some cool things like projects and stuff, but like it's meant for some bad things.
See, like right now, right off top of my head, I have two examples for this that you're going to love, of a way of like manipulating audio. Okay, first one. You ready for this? Mm-hmm. I don't remember all the specifics. WWE, well, WWF at this time. I think this was like during the Attitude Era, and I know you were watching.
Oh yeah, I used to be.
All right, Mankind, Mick Foley.
Yeah,
you remember his character?
Yeah, so many.
One of the toughest dudes ever. He was gonna be in an I Quit match, and the basic premise of these matches are there's no like pin count 1, 2, 3. There's no tap out or anything like that. It's pretty much until someone says I quit.
Yeah.
Then the other person wins.
You gotta get him on the mic saying it. Yep.
Like, you know, leading up to all the main events of the pay-per-views and everything, they always like have these stupid like pressers where they go out and talk, and they pretty much just talk trash to each other. Mm-hmm. He had said something along the lines of like, "You will never get me to say I quit in a match." Mm-hmm. They captured that little sound clip of him saying I quit, and then the match comes around and had them play it when they put the microphone up to him, so it made it seem like You know, and for the life of me, I want to say this was like in the 98, 99,
exactly.
2000 era.
But I remember exactly.
It was one of the pay-per-views. I remember it was this big deal, and I remember just thinking like, wow, that was really clever. Now, that's pretty primitive because that's like just cutting and pressing play. You know, whatever it might be. But
WWE's acting. And
all right, and that's acting. Yeah, that's theatrical. But Tupac. I've heard songs of Tupac that because he laid down a bunch of verses before he died that were unreleased.
Well, all rappers do.
Yeah. So I've heard it with Tupac where he'll be on a track with someone. You were thinking of, you said this, and he released some albums. Like Eminem produced some albums for him. I think a couple albums that came out like in the 03, 05 range. And it's just like, you know, on a rap song, you'll hear someone in the background like say the year it is, or like they'll say something to like hype them up. And it was Tupac in the background saying like 2005, and like it was Tupac.
Yeah.
But when would Tupac have ever been on a track saying 2005? And that's because the technology was around back then, 15 years ago, whatever. They could manipulate his words and project based on everything they had recorded, that this is what he would sound like saying this.
This shit blows my mind, man.
And that was 15 years ago. So you can only imagine would be like now. Now, I think that's kind of, I think, I could be wrong on this, but like, I haven't heard too many new Tupac songs the last handful of years.
The one that blows my mind is Thug's Mansion New York edition of Nas's album.
Oh,
that he brings Tupac in on this like verse that I never heard of before. On it was like a hidden verse. I don't know if he paid for it or something. But it was on like, because that's one of his most iconic songs.
Yeah.
Tupac's Doug's Mansion.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, he spit some unknown verse that went exactly with the flow and everything. So it was that reminds me of that. But dude, this is my thing. Not to like, I hate to be that person that always goes like, you know, cops are, you know, crooked and whatnot and everything. But like, dude, just imagine whenever the CIA and the DEA and the FBI get this sort of technology, or they might already have it already, but like, just because you already know, it's been well documented, man, that like if you ever watch the 60s documentary and stuff, like they show you like cops used to just, you know, plant drugs. They do it all the time. They plant drugs or plant certain things. Now they don't even have to get their hands dirty, man. They can just get you like acting like you're on the phone, or like they tapped your phone or something, or they had somebody buy you that had a recorder, and they could make it sound like you said something, and it, you know, come with a confession that you never even did. And that's what's going to blow my mind. Or if they just need to hit their quotas, because that's what this shit does. They want to clean these streets for no reason.
Yeah, it's like anytime you, I mean, with what is it? With power comes responsibility. It's like anytime you have this thing, and it can go back to anything. It can go back to social media. It can go back to technology like this. You have this awesome, potentially awesome thing that could be used for good, or it can be used for bad. And I mean, I think that just kind of goes back to the theory of mankind and how we are, where we have these incredible inventions that sometimes we use for good, but it seems like more often than not, somebody finds some bad use for them, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so you, I just want to touch up on this now.
Okay.
This is my little conspiracy corner, whatever we're gonna call it.
Corner. All right.
It's because it goes so well with this technology, because we're looking so far ahead right now. We're not far ahead at all. We're looking just, you know, in the future with with this technology. I want to take a look back to the beginning of it, or not the beginning of it, but like the beginning of our technology boom that we had. Mm-hmm. So this blows my mind, because okay, I'm not gonna sit here and bring up the debate of the moon landing, if it's real or fake.
Okay.
Because we can go on for days. Everybody's heard the same old conversation. Everybody's heard the same conversations. Yep. There's documents for there's size for both. We've all heard all of it. But here's the thing. I took myself out of I kind of because I've heard it so many times. You know, I listen to so many different podcasts that bring it up all the time. I watch so many videos that bring up conspiracies, all that stuff. So I kind of after a few times hearing it, you kind of take your mind out of it, and you kind of think of the off things about the certain things, because you start hearing so many. You hear all these different details that you keep hearing constantly. You look for the new stuff that you don't really see. Well, I was thinking, because you know we all hear the last 50 years, we've came so far in technology. It's our last 50 years of technology is further than we've ever been mankind.
Yep.
So, when did we supposedly land on the moon? 50 years ago.
Was it July? Was it 22nd, 1969?
I thought it was 67.
Was it 67?
I thought it was 67. But here's my thing. It's exactly 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna sit here and say like I think the moon landing's fake or whatever, but I think the footage was faked. But I think maybe we did go to the moon. But what if when we went to the damn moon that we ran into some crazy higher technology, like more advanced
We know this happened. Yeah, dude. Like, this was in Transformers.
No, I know. Oh no, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But no, like that shit. Like, but to go like even crazier, like. I know that's from that movie.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm
like,
just
dude, like that's gotta make so much sense. Like that's because and then like I always ask why we haven't went back. It's like we probably were just like told like, hey, this is our shit up here, by whatever's up there, and they're like, hey, we'll help you out. We'll help you guys out with whatever the hell you need, but just stay away from here. Like don't come back or whatever. Or if they are up there, they keep it real like hush hush. But dude, like it's a great thought, like man, because like. We were just like pretty much rats at that point, or monkeys, like just like playing with our hands, playing with rocks and stuff, and then out of nowhere in these last 50 years, especially the time the space war was, all of a sudden we're just so much further technology, like technological advance is what I should like trying to say.
Yeah, and obviously,
and it isn't Transformers. You're very right. Like there are a lot you movies over, but like it's a great thought process when you actually.
Oh yeah, absolutely. and you look at the '60s. You obviously have all the stuff with Roswell, and I think a lot of people did. That's kind of like when you're, UFO sighting, and I'd say that's like when your alien conspiracies really kind of.
That was 62, 63, one of those, yeah.
Something like that,
yeah.
And your Area 51 and everything like that, and I don't know what the truth is. I don't. And
we'll never know. We'll never know. But that's why we like.
But I've always kind of been a believer that where there's smoke, there's fire to some degree. Like if there's this much chatter about it or this much information about it, there's something.
It's lasted for so long
there's
too. Like
something.
Dude, we get over a lot of things that like like. You hear it all the time, like school shootings and stuff. People think they're conspiracies or whatever, but like we get off that. Like for the vast majority of civilization, we get over that. For the modern day, like when we actually, for like all the people on social media, like where we can see that people talk. Like most people get over that after like the first month or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like they might be a few months, but like you never see it last a year or 50 years. Like the fake moon landing would be, or Roswell, like 60 years. Like dude. Like, when it's that big of a deal for so long, doesn't it almost have to, like, isn't that almost saying, like, hey, we're not dumb here? Because there's so many different things, that, like, because 9/11 we're always going to talk about. Like, but if we talk about all the different bombings, like the Boston, the Boston Marathon bombings and stuff, like, dude, like, we get over that, the conspiracies of that, because people move on, there's not enough, there's not enough, like, smoke that you were saying.
Right.
Yeah, so, like, right. That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
so... Well, let me ask you this. So would you tie in kind of the technological boom, the technological revolution that our planet has gone through over the last 50 years?
Yeah.
Because I have a little bit of a different theory on this, but I want to hear what you say. To somehow some sort of interaction that happened with the moon landing.
Dude, yeah, that's my thing. Because it makes a lot of sense, but it also could make sense with the Roswell landing as well. Crashing.
I pull it back. Again, I'm not.
I can go on for days about different things that I think of that we could have got technology from. Because I'm gonna be real with you too. There's a crazy hidden secret about Antarctica, and it blows my fucking mind, bro. You see politicians getting flown down there all the damn time, and that's the only place that's the only place that we say we won't have war at. That's the only civil place on the planet, dude. Like, and there were just GPS readings of a huge underground like land under all that, and dude, like, and there's supposedly a pyramid in Antarctica. Like, dude, you gotta look this shit up, man. It's blows my mind.
I've only read a little bit about Antarctica, and if anything, it's only interested me just because of some of the mystery that kind of surrounds
They say whenever they first whenever there was because I'm pretty sure they had a war there, or not a war, but they had like a battle, like flew over there, like spilled over there.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I can't remember where I read this and if it's that legit, but soldiers from back then were like pulling reports of like UFOs flying over them and stuff in Antarctica, and like different crazy things, and they would actually cease fire against each other and like go at these things, kind of like a lot like Cowboys versus Aliens or whatever, but in Antarctica almost. Like dude, and you hear that in the ocean too. You hear a lot of the Navy and everybody, and you hear a lot of those about, especially way back in the day. But that could all be folklore and stuff. But it's still crazy things to think of. Because why is Antarctica the only place that we really don't know anything of?
That's really uninhabited.
We never go. Yeah, like why is
high
that?
High clearance government officials and scientists are allowed there.
Why is that, bro? Hollow Earth.
Again. I mean, we just go back to. I mean, I think these are good thought exercises and good things that, we don't have the answers to, but just think about it. And I want to leave you with this last one. So you said the last 50 years, and you're absolutely right. I mean,
isn't that what most people say? It's like the last 50 years of technology, for humans, has been so much more advanced than we have at that time ever before, as in humans from way back when.
I'm going to try to be as visual of a talker as I can be right now, because I think to have this conversation like possibly with me in person might make more sense, but I'm trying to be very visual and just know, those of you listening, that I'm absolutely talking a lot with my hands right now. So, I think the last 50 years, yes, incredible. But I stretch it a little bit farther back to the last 100 years. Okay. And this goes back to whatever your Judeo-Christian, whatever your religious beliefs are, whatever. Either way, it applies. Let's say there's a timeline. At one end of this timeline is the first time man walked on Earth.
Yeah.
If you believe in the Bible, the Earth's 6,000 years old, and this was, however many thousands of years ago. That's fine. 6,000 years ago, first person walked on the Earth. That's fine. You're fine to believe that. If you believe the Earth is, hundreds of millions or possibly billions of years old, and humans have been walking around for tens of thousands of years, 50,000 years, 100,000, whatever. That's fine. You can believe that too. Okay, let's take a timeline from whenever you believe that was to today, 2018. Pretty big timeline, right?
Oh, it's huge.
Huge timeline.
Unfathomable. Yeah.
How small is the sliver of 50 years or 100 years? Either way, really small sliver. Let's talk about, and this is just something to think about, some of the technological advancements in the last 100 years. 100 and some odd change.
Yeah.
So the early 20th century, you have the Industrial Revolution, where we have all these incredible machines and factories that can mass produce things on an assembly line. One of the things that's produced on these assembly lines are automobiles, cars, and look how far those have come in 100 years. What else has happened in the last 100 years? I mean, you look at warfare. You look at just how much weaponry and machinery changed from World War I to World War II. Semi-automatic rifles. You have cannons. You have tanks. You have, high round magazine clips, whatever it might be. And I'm by no
grenades,
means.
You got all.
I'm by no means a weapons expert. So if you're more knowledgeable about that than me, please, bear with me here. And then you transition past that. You go to the Cold War, and let's stop in 1945. Hiroshima, nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
You go through the Cold War, and then into the 1960s, kind of where you picked up, is we're sending people out in space in rocket ships, television,
which was huge.
I mean, obviously, I miss like radio and
we're missing a bunch, but yeah,
and talking on the phone. What were those called? Graphs, some sort of graph, whatever it was. Telegraph. Yeah, exactly. And then you go from rocket ships in the 60s, computer, right after that. The internet, people start, and now we're getting closer to where we are now, to where everyone has a cell phone.
Which, I mean, even in the 90s, or was it the late 80s or early 90s they started having cell phones, like the big bricks?
I think it was like early 90s is when people started, I mean, it was literally, I think the first cell phones were actually like a briefcase you had to carry around.
Damn. Oh, yeah, I think I remember that you open it up and it just, yep. I don't remember that,
so
but I remember
then you go
movies.
to now where everyone has one, and I'm older than you, but I'm not that old. I didn't have a suitcase cell phone, but...
Do you ever have a big bulk one?
No, I never had a big bulk one. I would love to find one now, though, because I think it'd be hilarious.
That'd be hilarious.
But, so now, now everyone's got a cell phone. Now we have Wi-Fi.
You got everything at the touch of your hand.
Yes, now I can, on my phone... I could probably give me 30 seconds, I can be looking at someone's face, communicating with them in real time that they live halfway around the world.
We can order
They
food.
live 5,000 miles away.
We can have food delivered to us. We can do all this shit by a touch of a button.
And look at where we are. And then obviously what we were just talking about with possibly projecting someone's digital personality or someone's entire personality digitally just based on recording what they've said. So
and then to even think a little step further is like we're doing the virtual reality shit now.
Exactly.
And AI, like we're getting we're getting out. Just think how fast we're gonna go now. It's gonna be even faster. I think it's like it could be that one thing too. As soon as you do, like as soon as a few puzzle pieces start falling together, everything just starts going together. That could be the case too. That it could not be us, landing on the moon, finding something, or Roswell crash or something, coming even to us and helping us out. It could just be like, hey, the more that we put puzzle pieces together, more things fall. But it is a great thought. And we're close to cars driving themselves. I know they just killed someone, but we're real close though to where that's going to be like there's a Tesla flying through space. But where that's going to be affordable for almost everyone. So here's what I want people to think about, and just there's no answer. This is just an open-ended question. So look back at that timeline I was just talking about. Huge, and in the small little sliver with all these advancements. There's only, I think, two ways of looking at that. Either humans, we have just really broken through and we're like getting smarter, and our industriousness and our hard work, and we're just kind of like what you said, maybe just the dominoes fell the right way, we're in the right place, right time for all these awesome things to happen. Or did we have some help? And I think that's pretty much. Well, then it takes us back way further to like ancient Egyptian times, because the pyramids. That's a whole nother podcast. Yeah, I don't even want to. We can't even dive into that. But it's like I feel like there's been multiple times in human or not even just humans, because there's been so many different types of humans, like Homo sapiens to all that. We can go on for days. I don't know all of them technically, but I can sit there and look these up, and we can look them up and get wild. But like I think in certain different times of our existence, I should say, as a living creature, like kind of being with 2 arms, 2 hands, you know what I'm saying? Like 2 arms, 2 hands, 2 feet, 2 legs. Walking upright. Yes. I think we've had help multiple different times. It's just it's very, very, very interesting. And man, I didn't mean to like hijack what you're talking about. No, you're good. That's just very. No, you're good. Very interesting stuff to me. So let's transition to something that's also very interesting: fast food. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You were dying to talk about this. There's some fast food stuff going on right now that I found kind of interesting, and it intrigues me. So a little bit of like, and this is a little bit of a lighter note, I guess we could say. I printed this off today. Chick-fil-a is about to become the number 3 fast food company in the United States. They're about to pass Taco Bell, Wendy's, and Burger King. When I saw that they were about to pass Wendy's and Taco Bell, like Burger King, I always kind of like, I figured they're probably near the top 5, but like when I saw they were going to pass Wendy's and Taco Bell, like that really got my attention. Because, and I don't know if that's just because I think Taco Bell does a great job marketing, but I think this is a really impressive feat from Chick-fil-A, because they're open 6 days a week. They're not open 7 days a week like everyone else is. Yep. That's impressive. There's some stuff in here that I found interesting I want to point out. So another big part of these fast food companies, I think it's just like with anyone that wants to be successful, you have to have a good social media presence. Yeah. And I'm going to get to that in a second, because there's something about Wendy's I want to talk about with that. I already figured that was coming. Well, first of all, do you know what the number 1 and number 2 is? Number 1 and number 2 fast food places. Isn't number 1, In-N-Out? No. It's not? Is that number 2? No. No. Is McDonald's number 1? No. What is it? I don't even know what number 1 is. Number 1 is McDonald's. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say, I would figure. And then number 2 would be Arby's? No. KFC? Nope. It's not one you would typically think of for fast food. Whataburger? No. Damn. Sonic? You're going to feel really silly when I say it, but it's not what you really think of for fast food. Starbucks. Wow, okay. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I'm shocked they're not number 1 in that aspect. McDonald's and Starbucks.
So Chick-fil-A going to be number 3. So I thought this was interesting. And I know you've been in Chick-fil-A. I don't know how recently you've been in Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I haven't had Chick-fil-A in forever.
Oh, really?
I don't eat Chick-fil-A that much. That's why I'm shocked.
Well, I know neither one of us eat a lot of fast food, but like anytime I've ever gone through Chick-fil-A, the customer service is off the charts. They're always the nicest people. And obviously that's part of their business model. Their customer service is incredible, and they go above and beyond to be polite in that drive-thru. So there's a location in Oklahoma City that recently served 216 cars in under 1 hour. That is 3.6 customers per minute.
Oh my God.
Per minute. Okay? So, and I don't know if that's got to be inside and drive-through. I don't think it's physically possible to serve that many people in just the drive-through, but it's got to be inside as well, like people that are dining in. But I thought that was pretty crazy. I don't know. And going back to the social media thing. Okay, so Chick-fil-A, I mean, good for them, you know. But the social media thing, so they just passed Wendy's. And for anyone I know you're not big on social media, but Wendy's Twitter is fire. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. Yeah.
Whoever runs their Twitter, they're always sending shots at all the other fast food places. Friendly. I mean, like not. I always
see not like screenshots of like people dogging them. Yeah. Like just normal people like you and I would just be.
And they'll respond.
They'll kill them.
And they'll always like put them in their place. So whoever they have on their Twitter team, I mean, it's just incredible. But Wendy's dropped a mixtape.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Have you listened to it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We talked about this in Florida. Actually.
Yeah, we talked about this in Florida. Yeah. It's not bad.
No, like, not at all.
The production value is pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna sit here saying like it's gonna be a song that I'm gonna want to listen to if I'm going to the club or something like that, or like it'll ever make like the Billboard list or anything like that. But like, it's not bad.
It's pretty good.
All right, should we read off the track list because it's kind of awesome. This is a free. Is this a free commercial for Wendy's? I mean, I wouldn't be mad about Wendy's being a sponsor of our podcast.
Definitely not.
All right, so the track list. It's just a mixtape. It's 5 songs. Number 1, Twitter Fingers.
Yep.
Number 2, Holding It Down. Okay, that's pretty standard. Number 3, I mean, this is just.
We got beef.
Nope.
Or, no, what is it?
Number 3.
Oh, Rest in Grease.
Rest in Grease.
We got beef.
Rest in Grease. Yeah, the EP, the mixtape itself is called We Beefin'.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Number 4, Clownin', and number 5,
4 for 4.
4 for 4.
Yeah.
4 for $4.
Yeah,
I mean,
can't get mad.
Just incredible. I mean, and it's one of those things. Like, I'm sure there's people out there who'd be like, "What? This is the stupidest thing ever." I've never listened to that, but
it's hilarious.
I think it's awesome. I think
you just gotta have fun with it, man. They're having fun.
Yeah, you gotta have fun.
They're with the times, man. That's why I'm kind of shocked that. I mean, I can't be shocked. How long has chicken tenders been on something that's always been a go-to for kids?
Oh,
like you're from the age of I don't know, 5, I would say, when you start actually getting able to order yourself almost. Or maybe even 8, whatever. I'm not sure. Whatever age you might be able to, but like, dude, you're ordering chicken tenders all damn day.
Mm-hmm.
You still do it now. How many times do you sit there and like, you go to Applebee's or something, you're like, damn, that chicken finger basket though looks pretty damn good.
It's reliable. You know what you're getting.
Faithful. But that's why I'm kind of shocked because I mean, Wendy's be trash, man. I think they got rid of their spicy chicken nuggets. So I can't even. That's why I think
I'm not sure if they did.
I think that's what hurt them.
I'm not sure if they did.
No, seriously.
We got to say good things about Wendy's right now because we're trying to get.
No.
I'm joking, but
they'll burn us. That's another thing. I don't want to be on the track list.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be.
I'm not trying to rest in grease.
Yeah, don't at me. Don't at me, Wendy's. Jeez. No, but But like you're saying though, if you look at Chick-fil-A's menu, it's not like terribly diverse. They have chicken. And
I think that's what helps. Old Faithful. I think people like the same old molds. Sometimes we like change, but think how many times has Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King changed their orders? Their whole.
Oh, I mean, it's like every other month they're changing something.
Taco Bell's changing the menu constantly.
You could do, and I think this is like getting into sort of like the business side of things with this, which is interesting to me. Is like, okay, and I think In-N-Out Burger has done the same thing, and obviously they make a killing out on the West Coast, where it's like you go in, they have like 4 different burgers you can order, something like that. Like we have these products. We're really, really good at these, and that's it. We're not going to worry about anything else. Or you can do the other model of like, we're going to have 30 different products, and like a couple of them will be good, most of them will be average, a couple will be below average. So, I mean, which one works best? I don't know. But I think the thing that really blows me away is the fact that they're open 6 days a week, and these other ones are open 7 days a week, and you're still right there. I mean, in a way, though, does that make people want Chick-fil-A more? Is it kind of like one of those you want what you can't have a little bit?
When it's Saturday, you're like, oh, well, for people that eat Chick-fil-A, like if you're a Chick-fil-A fanatic and it's a Saturday and it's getting late at night, you're like, damn, Chick-fil-A sounds good today, but like they're gonna be closed tomorrow. I gotta go today or Monday, like, because it gets you thinking. Because you never think, whenever you're thinking about food, you're like, well, they're always open.
Yeah,
if
they're
you
always
go
there.
one day in the middle of the week and you're feeling fast food on the day before, or even a couple days up to it, you're thinking, oh shit, Chick-fil-A's only open 6 days a week. So it comes to your mind. So I mean,
that's interesting to me. That's where you talk about like the psychology of like the consumer and everything like that. See, what I want to see is, what are Chick-fil-A sales on Saturday and Monday? That's what I want to see. That's the next report I want to see now. That would be interesting to me. Yeah, a little bit of homework there.
That'd be interesting because, damn, never even thought of it. Is there any other fast food restaurant at all that's open?
I don't, not to my knowledge, there's not. Now, you know why Chick-fil-A's not open on Sundays.
Well, the owner of it, pretty religious.
Yeah, they're based out of Georgia, and their owner, I mean, that's the Bible Belt, very conservative, Christian, and I don't know.
But it's working for him.
It is working. It is working. I'm sure. And you know what? As we're saying this, I know there are people out there who will not eat Chick-fil-A for that reason. And that's fine. That's everyone's right. But I look past all those political undertones. I look at it. It's very interesting to me.
This is the way I look at it, man. I don't care if you're an atheist or if you're a Christian or if you're a Buddhist or whatever, but if you make good freaking chicken, I'm gonna eat your damn chicken, son. That has nothing to do.
Have you ever had their breakfast?
Has nothing to do. They have a breakfast.
Oh man,
Chick-fil-A has a breakfast.
This is a moment. This is a moment right now. This moment that Steven is experiencing right now, folks. I experienced this moment like, I don't know. It was some year in college. I got done. There's a class that got canceled in the afternoon, so I was done early in the morning. I was driving home. Drive past Chick-fil-A. I was like, I'm just pop in here and get something. And I see a breakfast menu. I was like, what? So they have like, your chicken, bacon and egg and things like that. It's pretty much everything you would see at McDonald's, only it has chicken on it. Incredible. If you have not experienced Chick-fil-A's breakfast, you have to. You absolutely have to. Yeah. So yeah, what a moment. What a moment right there.
I'll let you know the first time that I eat that shit. I'm going to call you.
You better.
And if I'm upset with it, I'm going to let you know. Because I was okay with T-Bell's breakfast the first day they had it. But then I tried it the second time. And I was like, screw it. It's not that good.
Now they got like that egg taco thing. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I saw it, but I didn't try it. I can make my own. I make omelets every morning.
Yeah. I don't know. That looks a little sketchy for me. But, all right, man. Hey, you got anything else intriguing you?
No, I think that was a pretty good pod.
Right.
Those very interesting things for us.
Yeah, we'll leave you guys with that. It is a Wednesday, so we will get with you guys here soon. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Just be out there living your best life.
That's actually one of the things, man. That was a nice little because like we mentioned before, we did just get back from Florida last week, and you got to treat yourself in life, man. You got to take personal time. It gets very exhausting, because I think we all get caught up in work and caught up in all these other things in life, and if you're not focusing on yourself at all in between that time, your life can get hard. You can be really down on yourself. So
you got to recharge the batteries. I know you said like, hey, I got to get away from the grind. I got to get off the grind for a minute.
Oh, bro,
recharge the batteries, and
I'm rebooted, dude.
And you don't even have to go out of town. It doesn't even have to be.
No, yeah. You
don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what, sitting on the damn beach.
Yeah, a little beach therapy. I know you did some yoga on the beach. I mean, that's never gonna hurt you. But it can even be just like sitting at home. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's watching like an old movie that you love to watch. Maybe it's taking your dog for a walk,
maybe you've been dying to go to start the gym or something. Like Just do it. Just do it, man.
Or whatever it is. Like you
don't let work get you caught up in things, man. Or don't let let other people get caught up.
You gotta treat yourself. There's that episode, Parks and Rec. Treat yourself. I don't know if you're a Parks and Rec guy, but
everybody knows that.
Aziz Ansari, like you gotta do that sometimes.
Aziz Ansari used that in his stand-up too.
Did he?
Yeah,
you gotta treat yourself.
He's hilarious. But
all right,
we signing out.
All right, take care.